Viewers, welcome to another episode of Legislator of the Week. Today, our guest is Senator Yemi Adaramodu, Senator representing Ekiti South Senatorial District. He is the Chair, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs. Senator, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, my sister.
My name is Ene Ojonuba. Sit back and enjoy the program. Kindly introduce yourself to the viewers.
I am Senator Yemi Adaramodu. I represent Ekiti South Senatorial District of Ekiti State. And Ekiti State is the land of honor and the fountain of knowledge. So that's what I represent here in Abuja. Thank you very much.
Kindly tell us your roles as the Chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs.
Oh, yes, explicitly, as you have already qualified, that's my office, Media and Public Affairs. In the Senate, I'm the one that we act as in the common parlance, they call it PRO, Public Relations Officer. So I'm the one that we take all news, all stories out there to the public from the Senate. I'm the one who's going to be a bridge between the public and the Senate. I'm the one who's supposed to manage the image of the Senate. I'm the one who's supposed to tell the public, the Nigerian public and even beyond, what the Senate stands for, what we do, what we are doing, what we are going to do. And we want to answer questions on basic principles of why the National Assembly is established and what for. And then the democratic ethics, ethos, testaments, and sacraments of the Parliament. I'm the one to enthuse, I'm the one to brief, I'm the one to let the public know, I'm the one to bring back to the Senate what the public is saying and what the public is expecting and what the public is perceiving about the Senate and even the National Assembly and legislators generally. So I'm the one to play those roles. You know, it's very multifaceted. And then for someone to do that one, you know, it's a human job. So I know it's a task, and it's a task that must be achieved. And I think by the grace of God and the benevolence of my colleagues in the Senate, and then the leadership under Senator Godfrey Apabio, we are going to achieve what we are appointed to do.
Okay, what would you say is your relationship between your committee as the Chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, and the Senate Press Corps?
Oh yes, the Senate Press Corps, they are the medium through which whatever we do, whatever we say, can get to the public. Because they represent media houses, be it electronic or print. They represent them, and then we deal with them every day. Because every day we make the Senate open. They have their gallery where they stay every day to cover the proceedings and the whatever, even when we are doing joy, even when we want to do war. So they cover all those stories, all those news, all those programs every time and every day that we meet. So that is the press corps. So my relationship with them is to coordinate and then to go back to them. So the snippets that they might not be able to pick through their presence at the chamber. So I'm the one who will take it to them. Then I'm the one who's supposed to answer questions when they have questions to raise about whatever we do at the floor of the chamber. So I'm the one to answer those questions. I'm the one to take from them any feedback, even to the Senate and to the senators, because they are very close to the public. That is the press corps, who are basically journalists. They are media practitioners. So the public relates with them because we call them the fourth estate of the realm. That means after the legislature, the executive, the judiciary, comes the media, which is the press. So it means, and they are very close to the public. They are everywhere. They are very ubiquitous. So they will tell me what the people are thinking about us, what they are talking about us. So then I carry it to the Senate leadership, then by and large to the senators. So that is my relationship with the Senate Press Corps.
You were the chairman House Committee on Youth Development and now the Chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs. How have you managed the transitioning so far?
Benevolently, from the leadership of the 10th Senate, and by the grace of God, I'm even the Senate Committee Chairman on Youth Development in this 10th Senate.
Oh,
I double as the Media and the Public Affairs Chairman, as the spokesperson, at the same time as the Chairman, Senate Committee on Youth Development. And then, yes, like I always say, the youth of Nigeria will need a very special coach. I come in as a coach because at times when they say, oh, when the chairman of youth development is supposed to be maybe a 30-year-old legislator, I say no. Under 16 players of the Eaglets, their coach is not a 16-year-old person. Under 20, the Flying Eagles, their coach is not 19-year-old coach. So they will have a coach that has the experience, that has transferred through the stages of life, that can now impart that knowledge into them. That is why we now we have coaches that are more elderly than the players themselves. So Nigerian youth are the players. Then anybody who is going to be the chairman of the youth development that is going to oversight the youth must be somebody who has the experience, who has something to tell them, who has something to offer them, who has experienced, who has gone through all those things, who either as a child, as an adolescent, as an adult, transiting from various stages of life to where we are today. So it is that kind of person that can mentor Nigerian youth. So for me, I won't say it's a great transition because I have always been a journalist. I've practiced as a journalist. I even was a cartoonist before I became an assistant editor, a deputy editor, a corporate affairs manager, a Nigerian Tribune, the public African Newspapers Nigeria PLC, the publishers of Tribune titles, before I became chief of staff, and then House of Representatives, where I became the chairman, House Committee on Youth Development, before I now come in as a senator representing my senatorial district. And as a media man, it does not take me anything to learn newly before I can function as a spokesperson of the Senate. And it's something that I've always been doing. Even in Ekiti State, before I became chief of staff, I was the spokesperson for the campaign of Dr. John Kayode Fayemi, the two-term governor of Ekiti State, before I became his chief of staff in Ekiti State. So it had been with me. And then, mind you, even as a young man, around the age of 29, I've become a local government chairman of my local government in Ekiti State. So meaning that I have the experience as a young man to know what leadership is. So it is me that can now talk to Nigerian youth that you can start from nothing and become something. You can be a young man or a young woman and be a leader. That leadership is not about age. I became chairman of local government by around 29 years of age, just a few years after university education. So, and I did well. And then since then, there had never been a stoppage in my advancement in leadership and mentoring duties. So definitely, I think I have that very, very special position to be the person who can mentor Nigerian youth better. And that's why it's always very confident with me whenever I'm among Nigerian youth. We discuss, we debate. I know their nuances. I know what they want. I know what they do not want. And because it's like when you are in Lagos Bolwe, when somebody is trying to advertise his drugs, they will ask from him, have you ever experienced this kind of ailment before? So definitely me, as a person, I've experienced what Nigerian youth are experiencing now. Because like I said, I started from nowhere to get to somewhere. So any Nigerian youth can start from nowhere and get to somewhere but they need the right mentoring, the right propelling them to think that, yes, they can dominate their environment, they can get what they want. It depends on the right attitude, and then when you are where you are supposed to be at the appropriate time. And that is why we always say that miracle is when you are where you are supposed to be at the time that you are supposed to be there. Then miracle will just happen. So all those things are the things that are the qualities that somebody like me has, that I can just take to the youth. So the issue of media and my own mentorship of Nigerian youth as chairman, youth development, either in the House of Representatives or in the Senate, do not just give me any headache at all. I don't have to learn any new thing. I don't have to go to somebody for tutelage. I don't have to go to any other school to learn how to relate and how to multitask on this. So I, as a journalist, thoroughbred, spending about 21 years in the media, then I cannot say that I'm a neophyte in journalism and then spokesmanship. That one has always been with me. It has always been a me. Then with my trajectory, the way I rose from a small boy chairman to become an adult senator. So definitely I know what Nigerian youth will be passing through to, and I know how we get to where we are from where we have started. So definitely it's a great impetus for me to say that I cannot have any difficulty marrying.
You are juggling it very well.
Yes.
Juggling the two roles.
It's a reciprocal locutor now. The case would have spoken for itself. You can now judge whether I, as chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Public Affairs, whether I'm doing well. Then, as chairman, Senate or House Committee on Youth Development, whether I've done well or I'm doing well. So when we put the two together, we see that there had never been any kind of situational lacuna that can make anybody to see me as someone who is overwhelmed, who does not have the capacity to do what he's supposed to do. So I am very glad to play those roles, and I feel that I still have much to deliver, and I still have much to do to play my roles very well, and then especially the development of Nigerian youth, making sure that we don't just stay with the rhetorics that youths are the leaders of tomorrow. We have to know that youths are the leaders of today too. So because there's no market separately for the youth and market separately for the adults. So we go to the same markets. So it is about competition. And then when we give the impetus to the youth to compete very well and favorably, definitely we are very sure that they are going to excel, because they have always been excelling. Look at them in the creative world. Nigerian youth can never be pushed over. Look at them in sports. Nigerian youth can never be pushed over. Even in academics, Nigerian youth cannot be pushed over. So leadership matter. They have been leading, and we believe that politically they must come to the space and take their own spaces, take their own places and positions, and then let the whole world see them do it and tell everyone that youth are the leaders of today, not the leaders of tomorrow. That tomorrow might be very elusive. It might be very imaginative. So we don't want that kind of institutional tantalizing mirages or optical illusions. So youths are really the leaders of.
If you just joined us, we've been talking with the senator representing Ekiti South Senatorial District in the person of Senator Yemi Adaramodu. We now take a short break. Please stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. If you just joined us, we've been talking with the spokesperson of the Senate in the 10th Assembly. Senator, kindly let us know if you have bills and motions to your credit.
Oh, yes, in the 10th Assembly, yes, in the Senate, I'm the prime mover and then sponsor of the NYC Trust Fund Bill, which I've already skid through all readings in the Senate, first, second, third, the whole
Empowerment of
House
core
consideration
members,
and everything. It has
training and
gone to the
retraining of
House
the
of
personnel of the
Representatives for
NYSC
concurrence, and then
development
I'm
of
very sure
camps
it will
and
get to
NYSC
Mr. President
formations
very soon,
and
and
facilities,
when it is
and for
enacted,
related
then definitely it's
matters.
going to open a new lease of life for Nigerian youths, because I know that those the core of Nigerian youths that we are shunning out every year as graduates. So after NYSC, where do we expect them to be? So that is what that bill is going to cure. And by the time it's enacted and then it comes into being, then definitely it's going to take a chunk of the population of Nigerian youths out of the labor market, out of going up and down with tattered slippers, pairs of slippers and trousers, looking for jobs that are nowhere to be found. So I pray and I know that Mr. President will assent to it and it will become a law. Because for me, I'm a firm believer in bills that can change the fortunes and the lives of Nigerians, especially the youth. Because that is my own very, very serious concern. That's my core area that I think I have to dwell in. So whatever bills further that I will be bringing up will just be bills that are going to center on youth development. That are going, because there's no nation that is powerful or that has strength if the youth is weak and the youth is powerless. So definitely we must ensure that wherever we find ourselves, especially those of us who find ourselves advocating for the youth, so we have to make sure that we do it in a way that is going to be deliberate, and then that is going to have a permanent suasion with the Nigerian system. That is by making it a law. So we have done that one, and then the next one is going to still focus on youth matter, youth advocacy, and youth development. So that's where we are about the issue of that. Other motions have been co-sponsors of motions and so on and so forth. And like I said, I don't want to dwell on motions because motions are just suggestions. They are just resolutions that we pass to various departments of government, either in the executive or in the judiciary, for them to carry out. So it is not law. It might not be binding, but the one that is going to be law that will be binding, that is where I stand. And I want to make sure that we do what is binding, what is law, what is legalistic, what is constitutional for Nigerian youth, so that we can have youths that are very varied, that are very mobile, that are very viable, that are very agile, that are emotionally stable, that can bring up a Nigeria of the future that we pray to have.
Distinguished, you appear to have so much passion for the youths. Kindly let us know if there are constituency projects you've done in your constituency for youths already.
Oh, yes. For me, like I said I started from nowhere to somewhere now. When I started school, it was very difficult because my parents were not out there to cover out so much naira for my education. They tried, they strove, and the first thing then was about school uniform that we were looking for then. So even though our constituency projects and other components of capital projects that we attracted for our senatorial district during the 2024 budget, because our 10th Senate is supposed to operate the 2024 budget, I have given school uniforms to youths, to children in the primary schools and secondary schools in my senatorial district. I have done 3 trainings in ICT. And when I do training, I don't just do training and I let them just go like that. I give them startup, either in terms of funds or equipment to go and start. I have done training for young women, especially on POS. After doing the training, I gave them startup funds to go and start their own. Not that I will do training, give you that tool, the machine, then just leave you to your fate. No, I've given them startup. I've done all those things. Currently, I'm doing Operation Light Up Ekiti South Senatorial District. That every street in the South Senatorial District, we have street lights. We have started. They have done that of Ilawe. They are doing that of Iseonu now. They have already done the basis in Ikere. They have done that in Imure. They have done that in Bonyi. They have done that in Ekiti East, Umu, and the environs. So we are doing that one. Apart from interventions on education, I have several youths and young children that have paid their fees, even in private schools in my senatorial district. So I've done so much like that. In fact, some of them, my local people, they even call me Ijele Pampam. When you say Ijele Wawa, that means somebody who understands us. Yeah. So that is me, that is where I am. So that is when we have not even really started the budget running. So I've done all those as appetizers for our people. And by the time what I put in as consultancy projects and then capital project components that I attracted, by the time it starts running, water, medical care, several others, palaces, town halls, you see them. When I was in the House of Representatives, I did not less than 135 projects during my term.
Wow, that's highly commendable.
And for Nigeria, and for youth, I attracted employment for many of them. Even now that we have just started, I've done not less than 7 employments for youth in my area. Then I attracted 78 in the House of Representatives, federal employment, that I had to go from ministry to ministry, look for jobs for them, to parastatals, look for jobs for them, in the Nigerian Army, look for job for them, NDLA, road safety, look for job for them, which I succeeded in getting them to have. So several of them are in the federal establishment today. So courtesy the efforts that God gave us the power to bring about. So, and we cannot relent. Like I said, as from them, get to my central, ask that, do you know Senator Yemi Adaramodu? They will.
Okay, lastly, what legacy would you like to be known for in the 10th Assembly and in your constituency?
Oh, for me as a person, the legacy that I want to be known for is that whatever assignment that is given to me, I do it diligently and I achieve. And that I always say one thing, that if I am made a gate man, I will open gate to the extent that nobody would have opened gate like that. And whoever wants to be a gate man next, we look back and look front before he can say that he wants to open gate. So for me, as the spokesperson, as chairman, Senate Committee on Youth Development, especially as the spokesperson, after I might have left, I want people to rate me and see that this man, nobody before him has ever done what he's doing. Look, for the first time in the history of Nigerian Senate or National Assembly, we put up a magazine, an internal magazine, which I am the editor-in-chief, and the Senate President, the publisher. For the first time, it was unveiled about 1 month ago. So it's going to be a quarterly magazine. So you will see it in every ministry. You will see it at the airports. Because we want to tell our stories. We don't want anybody to tell our stories for us anymore. Because when you allow somebody else to tell your story for you, then he will skew the story. He will say the story in his own form and in his own appetite. But for us, we want to tell our stories. We want the people out there to know that Parliament is very essential, and the 10th Senate is very uncommon, like the sobriquet for the Senate President, Senator Godwin Sapabio as the uncommon Senate President, for this uncommon 10th Senate. So I want to be an uncommon Senate spokesperson, which I think I have started to be with the launching of that magazine successfully. So, and which has never happened before. So any other person after me will be building on the legacies that I am going to leave. So very indelible legacies. That's what I want to leave. Not only to be in the calendar of past spokespersons. I want to be in the eyes and the minds of the people. I want to be somewhere there that wherever I get to, they will say, oh, when I introduce myself, they say, oh, that person who was Senate spokesperson, that he did so. So that's what I want to leave as a legacy, because the legacy must live with me. So, like people will say, the evil or the good that a man does will live after them, but I want the good that I do to live with me. So any legacy that I am going to leave must live with me.
Our guest has been Senator Yemi Adaramodu, Senator representing Ekiti South Senatorial District. That is where we draw the curtain on this episode of Legislator of the Week.